We conclude the first hour with non-title ladies tag team action with former women's tag team champions Cherie Roy and Autumn Breeze, Vicious and Delicious, in a non-title matchup against the reigning women's tag team champions, the Angels of Anarchy.
This next non-title ladies tag match is scheduled for one fall, with a 20-minute time limit. First, from the Twin Cities, the Queen of the Black Garden, Cherie Roy, and from Altoona, Pennsylvania, Autumn Breeze, Vicious and Delicious.
Cherie and Autumn are former women's world tag champs, and they've met with the AOA in the past, with a fairly split track record between them. But now that the Angels are the reigning champs, it's supposed to be a big intimidation factor, but not to Cherie and Autumn. They definitely aren't fond of the Angels, and oh baby, they're hot to beat the brakes off Wendy and Nikki Judas Hardcore.
I'm not exactly sure about how many of you viewers out there might be feeling about the Angels of Anarchy being the new Women's World Tag Team Champions, but I'll tell you, a lot of fans are definitely not pleased with the concept.
Their opponents, along with Heather Haadkore from Glen Falls, New York, Wendy Hardcore, and from Salt Lake City, Utah, Nikki Judas Hardcore, the RWL Women's World Tag Team Champions, the Angels of Anarchy.
I think it is safe to say there has never been a more despised pair of Women's World Tag Team Champions than the Angels of Anarchy.
Believe me, Unpopular doesn't even begin to cover it. Fans can't wait until the 26th at the Memorial Day card, hoping that American Powers will get the titles back.
They sure better. These fans are like extra rowdy whenever the Angels show up now. I don't know how long I can put up with that mess.
All right, it's going to be Autumn Breeze and Nikki Judas Hardcore starting things off here. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. The ladies come center ring. Kick to the midsection from Nikki. Counter kick from Autumn Breeze. Autumn takes Nikki Judas Hardcore down to the canvas, starts raining right hands on her head. Nikki Judas Hardcore back up on her feet. Locks up Autumn Breeze. Snap suplex from Nikki Hardcore. Nikki rounds up Autumn Breeze again. Autumn counters, whips Nikki to the corner. Nikki counters, escapes the corner. Here comes Wendy Hardcore on the tag, and here comes a double team from the Angels of Anarchy. Drop toe hold and an elbow right to the back for Autumn Breeze as Wendy Hardcore assumes control of the match for her team. A gouge to the face from Wendy Hardcore to Autumn Breeze. Another elbow across the chest. Autumn Breeze in significant trouble here. Autumn trying to turn it around here with an abdominal claw. Well, now, there's one we don't see every day. Wendy Hardcore taken down, rounded back up by Autumn Breeze. A kick to the midsection, a clubbing overhand right. Down goes Wendy Hardcore again. Wendy counters with an arm drag. Autumn counters with a hard right. Wendy counters with a kick to the midsection. Swings and misses with a clothesline. Autumn connects with her clothesline and sends Wendy Hardcore out onto the floor and tags in the Queen of the Black Garden, Cherie Roy. Wendy Hardcore returns to the ring. Gouges the face of Cherie Roy. Cherie counters, whips Wendy to the apron. Cherie Roy gets caught. Wendy Hardcore tosses her out, oh my, tosses her out onto the floor, over the top rope. That was brutal. The Angels of Anarchy certainly building a reputation for brutality as the new Women's World Tag Team Champions. Cherie Roy rounds up Wendy Hardcore. Wendy goes behind, counters Cherie Roy, charges, swings and misses again with the clothesline. Cherie Roy rounds her up. Wendy counters with a kick. Cherie Roy inverted suplexed by Wendy Hardcore. They tussle on the outside. Wendy shoves Cherie Roy back, swings and misses again with her attack. Cherie counters with a kick, swings and misses with her crossbody. Cherie Roy driven into the ring post headfirst by Wendy Hardcore. The referee continuing to count. In this non-title ladies tag team matchup, the Angels of Anarchy, presently in control of Vicious and Delicious. Wendy Hardcore steps out, restarting the count, charges to reach Cherie Roy. Cherie drives her head into the apron. Does it again. The Queen of the Black Garden battering the head. And now Wendy Hardcore countering. Cherie and Autumn Breeze battering each other's heads against the apron. And now Cherie Roy battering the skull of Wendy Hardcore against the floor as the referee continues to count. Wendy Hardcore with a fireman's carry on Cherie Roy. The Queen of the Black Garden driven headfirst into the apron again. Wendy Hardcore just battering the head of Cherie Roy against that apron. German suplex from Wendy Hardcore on Cherie Roy on the outside as the referee continues to count. Cherie Roy shoving Wendy Hardcore away towards the far corner barricades. Cherie Roy tussles with Wendy Hardcore. Wendy shoves her back. Wendy goes behind. Another German suplex from Wendy Hardcore on Cherie Roy as the referee continues to count. And the Angels of Anarchy have demonstrated they are not shy about winning by countout. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see that happen here. Wendy Hardcore swung halfway across by Cherie Roy. Wendy and Cherie both making their way back inside the ring. Now a little game of musical ropes between them. Wendy with a kick to the midsection. Sets up Cherie Roy. Whoa, a pedigree. And there's a cover with a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Damn close. Autumn Breeze saving the match for her team. Here comes Nikki Judas Hardcore on the tag. Heather Haadkore surprisingly well behaved during this confrontation between Vicious and Delicious and the Angels of Anarchy. Cherie Roy goes behind on Nikki Judas Hardcore. Look at this beautiful tilt-a-whirl. Cherie Roy stunning Nikki Judas Hardcore with that last move. A spinning kick that takes Nikki Judas Hardcore down. Cherie Roy tags in Autumn Breeze. Nikki Judas back on her feet. Cherie Roy watching as Autumn Breeze whips. Oh my, look at this. Autumn Breeze countering Nikki Judas Hardcore. Grabs a hold of her. Nikki Hardcore counters with elbows to Autumn Breeze. Look at this. Clever catch and a leg sweep from Autumn Breeze. Nikki Hardcore shoves her away. Charges. And a beautiful tilt-a-whirl from Nikki Hardcore. Autumn Breeze raining right hands on the head of Nikki Judas Hardcore. Nikki moves in, a kick to the midsection to Autumn Breeze. A slap across the face to Autumn Breeze. Autumn whips Nikki Hardcore to the ropes. Nikki puts on the brakes. Whoa! Autumn Breeze goes over the top rope and out onto the floor. The Angels of Anarchy certainly playing the game by their rules, and their rules ain't nice. A DDT head first into the floor for Autumn Breeze, courtesy of Nikki Judas Hardcore. Nikki Hardcore rolled back inside the ring by Autumn Breeze. Autumn Breeze following her in quickly. Swings and misses does Autumn Breeze. A spine buster to Nikki Judas Hardcore from Autumn Breeze. She certainly knocked the wind out of her there, going for a cover. 1, 2. Again, another near fall. And this ladies tag team matchup. Autumn Breeze tags in Cherie Roy, the Queen of the Black Garden. Moves in on a motionless Nikki Judas Hardcore. Swings and misses with the kick. Nikki Hardcore back up on her feet. Cherie Roy whips her out over the top rope and on the floor. Nikki Judas Hardcore taking quite a tumble. Cherie Roy decides to take it to the outside again. Nikki Hardcore counters with a hard right. Misses with a drop kick. Cherie Roy catches a counter from Nikki Hardcore. Nikki Hardcore rolls Cherie Roy back inside the ring. Cherie Roy with the jump whips Nikki to the ropes. Look at this. Whoa! What a beautiful wheelbarrow suplex from the Queen of the Black Garden. Cherie Roy wisely going for a cover. 1, 2. Somehow Nikki Haadkore still with enough steam in the tank to power out. Nikki Haadkore catches a kick from Cherie Roy. Cherie Roy has her up. Another backbreaker to Nikki Judas Haadkore. Nikki with a kick to the midsection on Cherie Roy. Cherie Roy counters with an arm drag. And look at this. Whoa! What a pendulum DDT from Nikki Haadkore. Cherie Roy is laid out. Here's a cover. 1, 2. And Cherie Roy somehow finding a way to kick out. Nikki Haadkore rounds her up again. He's got her set up in the pump handle. Whoa! Beautiful pump handle slam from Nikki Haadkore. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. And that is it. The Angels of Anarchy defeating Vicious and Delicious by pinfall.
Here's the time, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. And your winners, the Angels of Anarchy.
A disappointing loss for Cherie Roy and Autumn Breeze, and another controversial win for Nikki Judas Haadkore and Wendy O. Haadkore, the Angels of Anarchy, the current and reigning RWL Women's World Tag Team Champions. But for how long? As far as the first half of tonight's RWL Rage is concerned, we have just wrapped it up, and we'll return after this brief intermission with the second half. Hope to see you there.